Welcome children in this geography class. Children, you have seen that how our earth looks like. Now, in this situation, we can find or locate places on earth. But how? This is what we are going to learn in this chapter. So children, as you know that the earth is a big sphere and so it is impossible to see it as a whole at a time. Therefore, men developed a small but exact model of the earth. So, in order to understand the earth more clearly and more appropriately, men have developed an exact model of the earth which is called the globe. So, the right definition for the globe is the miniature form or a spherical representation of the earth. So, this is what a globe means. You must have seen globes in your school. Globes are very small as compared to the earth, but still they are the true model of the earth. So children, you must have seen globes in your school and you can see that globes are really very small as compared to the earth. So on this planet earth where you are living, you can see that the globe is comparatively a small object or a small model of the earth. The globe can move around a needle from west to east to represent the earth's movement. Now, a globe is fixed to this semicircular object with a needle at the top and at the bottom to fix it so that it can move freely and show you all the places on the earth. The 2 points on the globe through which the needle passes indicates the 2 ends or poles. Now these 2 ends are the poles. The point on the top is the North Pole and the point below is the South Pole. The globe has a lot of advantages, but it is not convenient to carry the globe from one place to another. So children, you can very well see that all the places on the globe very easily. You can rotate the globe along the needle and you can see the places on it. But do you think it is a convenient method to use when you are traveling from one place to another? No, it is not a convenient thing to use as it is a big object which can be carried along while you are traveling. So also globes do not give any helpful scientific information. So since they give no scientific information, like when you are traveling from one direction to another, they will not show you your particular any place. So in this kind of situation, a map is really helpful. So since map can be carried from one place to another and you can carry it in your pockets, hence a globe is not so helpful or not so proper to carry while you are traveling. So if we look at the globe carefully, we will notice various horizontal and vertical lines. Now let's learn what these lines are. So children, this is a globe and you will find these are horizontal lines drawn over it and the vertical lines drawn like this. Now when these lines are drawn like this, you will find small squares forming in between. These small squares are called the grids. So let's see what is the definition of the grid. A grid is a set of lines, that is the latitude and longitudes, used to find the exact location of a place on the globe or a map. Now let's learn about the latitudes and longitudes in detail. Now let's see what a latitude is. A latitude is the angular distance of a point on the Earth's surface measured in degree from an imaginary line named the equator, which lies midway the poles. So children, as I told you, when this is the Earth, there is a line that is going from between the Earth. This is the equator. Now, when we draw lines along this equator, they form an angle over here. So, the latitudes are the angular distance of a point on the Earth's surface measured in degree from an imaginary line which lies midway the poles. So it goes from the along the equator. Now, usually the distance on Earth is measured in kilometers or miles, but on the Earth, when we draw the grids, these lines are measured in degrees. Let's see what are the characteristics of a latitude. Latitudes are parallel to each other. Now, children, when we are drawing the latitudes, then these move along these lines. So you know what a parallel is. A parallel is those lines which do not meet at any point. So these latitudes, when drawn along the equator, they never meet at any point, and so they are called the parallel of latitudes. These are imaginary lines. These are not the natural lines. These are the imaginary lines that run east-west and are used to measure distance. Now, children, between these two latitudes, between every two latitudes, it is assumed that they have an angular distance of 1 degree, which is equal to 111 kilometers. Now, how is this 111 kilometers attained? So, children, the circumference of the Earth is around 40,000 kilometers, and the sphere is of 360 degrees angle. Now, to get a 1 degree difference, along the 1 degree difference, the kilometer will be divided by the degrees. That is 40,000 to be divided by 360 degrees, which will give 111 kilometers. The equator is the most significant latitude. It is chosen as the reference line because it divides the globe into two equal parts. So the equator is the most significant latitude. Why? Because it is the reference line through which the latitudes are measured, and it goes along the middle of the Earth. This equator divides the Earth into two equal halves. The upper half is called as the northern hemisphere, where hemi means half, and the lower part is called the southern hemisphere. Now, equator is the 0 degrees latitude and is the largest latitude. So, when you are asked which is the largest latitude, it is the equator. So, the equator is the largest latitude. All parallel lines to the north of the equator are called north latitudes. Similarly, all parallels in the south of the equator are called south latitudes. So, the lines of latitudes that are drawn parallel to the equator, when they are drawn northwards, they are called the north latitudes, and when they are drawn southwards, they are called the south latitude. The alphabet N is used to indicate north latitude and S is used to show the south latitude. So what is the alphabet that is used when you show the degrees? If you say it is a 1 degrees, when you write N, that means it is above the equator. This is 1 degrees north, and below the equator it will be 1 degrees south, and we indicate it as S and N for southern and northern latitudes. All parallels of latitudes are not equal in length. So children, as you know, the Earth is a sphere. The center line is the biggest line, and all the latitudes that are drawn below or above, they gradually decrease in size since it is a sphere. The distance between any two parallels of latitudes is always equal. So, children, when the two latitudes are drawn, then the distance is always equal. This distance will be equal to this, and so on. Being the largest parallel, the equator is called the Great Circle. So, since the equator goes from the center of the Earth, it is the largest latitude and is the largest parallel, and so it is also called the Great Circle. So, which is the Great Circle? The equator is also called the great circle. Now let's see some important latitudes that we should know. So actually there are many lines drawn along the equator parallel to the equator, but there are some important latitudes which are to be remembered and learnt. The equator represents the 0 degrees latitude. Now this is the equator and this is the 0 degrees latitude. The Tropic of Cancer. Now look to the north of the equator. You will find that there is the Tropic of Cancer and it lies at the 23.5 degrees north. Then Tropic of Capricorn. This is south of the equator and it is also at a distance of 23.5 degrees south. Then we have the Arctic Circle. This is the Arctic Circle which is at 66.5 degrees north, and Antarctic Circle which is at 66.5 degrees south. Then we have the North Pole which is at 90 degrees and South Pole also is at 90 degrees. So children, we have learnt up till the latitudes, and in our next class we will learn about the longitudes. So it is now your turn to learn about all the important latitudes, the grid and everything that is taught today. So have a nice learning and have a nice time. Bye bye.